How to use GitHub Desktop. GitHub Desktop is a user-friendly Git client that allows developers to manage repositories, commit changes, and collaborate on projects without using the command line. It's ideal for both beginners and experienced developers who prefer a graphical interface to handle versions control efficiently. In this guide, we'll go through on how you can install, set up, and use GitHub Desktop, including creating and cloning repositories, making commits, and pushing changes onto GitHub. Now, first things first, let's talk about what is GitHub Desktop. GitHub Desktop is a free and open source application that simplifies Git version control. Instead of using Git commands in the terminal, users can perform essential tasks like committing, branching, merging, and pushing code with a visual interface. The key features for GitHub Desktop is going to be simple UI. They have simple UI for managing repositories and commits. They have the seamless GitHub integration for easy collaboration. They have branching and merging support for team-based development. They have history tracking to review past changes. And lastly, they have syntax highlighting for reviewing code differences. And so, before we head further into our tutorial, all of the mentioned tools are going to be on the description box below, so make sure to check it out. Now, the first thing that we want to do is to navigate through the official website of GitHub Desktop, which is going to be github.com/apps/desktop. From here, you will be able to see the Download Now button. Click on the white Download Now button. Download for Windows right here. And right after, you can just select the location of the file that you want to go ahead and be downloaded in. Open up the downloaded file. And from here, we can now go ahead and install the application of GitHub Desktop. Click on Sign in to github.com. Click on Authorize Desktop. And from there, you will be able to link your GitHub account to your GitHub Desktop. From here, we can then configure our Git. You can use your GitHub account name and email, or you can configure it manually. In my case, I'll be using my GitHub account. Click on the Finish button. And once inside, we can now create our own repository. But since I already have my own repository right here, you can also go ahead and choose one if you want to. Now, cloning a repository is easy. You can just navigate through the menu right here, click on a specific repository, and right after, we can see the blue button right here for cloning a specific repository. So as an example, let's clone this repository right here. Click on Clone, and you should be good to go. Right after cloning your repository, we can then go ahead and open up using our Visual Studio Code by clicking on this button right here, or you can view your files from the Explorer itself or view them from your browser. Now let's start with viewing our files inside the Explorer, and from here, we have added the file inside our repository into our desktop right here. To proceed, let's now open up our repository using Visual Studio Code. Inside the Visual Studio Code, this is where we can go ahead and make changes inside our repository. As you can see, if I edited something inside our repository, it will then go ahead and reflect instantly on the cloned repository that we have made on our GitHub Desktop. So it's unlike using your GitHub from the browser itself, where you have to go ahead and manually test out things. In here, we can continue to go ahead and improve a lot of things by typing our code directly into Visual Studio Code. But basically, once inside the GitHub Desktop menu, we can then go ahead and click on the File section to create a new repository, add local repository, clone repository. You can click on the Edit button to undo, redo, cut, copy, paste, and select all. We also have the view option right here where you can toggle into full screen. You can reset your zoom in, zoom out, your changes, history, repository list, and more. If you want to go back to your own repository list, just click on the repository button. In here, we also have our own repository tab on which we can push, pull, fetch, remove, view on GitHub, open in command prompt, and more. So let's now go ahead and use another feature called fetch. If you click on this button right here, it will simply fetch the origin of the repository that we have on our GitHub account. So if you click on the fetch origin right here, it will now go ahead and fetch that specific repository. If you then want to create your own new repository, you can simply click on the current repository right here. It will then show us this pop-up menu on which we can click the add button. Inside add, once again you have clone, create new repository, or add existing. In our case, let's go ahead and add a new one. We have our repository name. You have your description, the path of this specific repository, the git ignore or license. So if we go ahead and click on the create repository right here, it will then go ahead and create the files on this specific local path right here, unlike the GitHub web version where it will then go ahead and deploy the files into our GitHub account itself. So if we click on create a new repository, we will be able to create a new one using the local machine right here, which is our computer. And now to start developing your own repository, you simply want to click on the Open in Visual Studio Code. Once inside, you can now click on Yes, I trust the authors and start developing your own repository project. And so just to show you an example, this is one of my projects inside my account on GitHub. And if we simply click on the Open in Visual Studio option, we can then go ahead and directly edit all of the contents inside this specific repository into our local machine itself. So in this project, I have my about HTML, my book HTML, index, and menu. And if we wish to go ahead and preview the result of this specific project, you simply want to click on the View on GitHub button. From there, it will take you to the main repository, to the web browser. Click on Settings, click on Pages, and once inside Pages, you want to click on Visit Site. And so, GitHub Desktop makes Git version control easier for developers, designers, and non-technical users with its simple interface. It streamlines commits, branching, merging, and collaboration without requiring terminal commands. Whether you're a beginner looking to learn Git or an experienced developer wanting a GUI-based workflow, GitHub Desktop is a powerful tool to improve your GitHub experience. Download it today and start managing your projects effortlessly. If this video has been helpful, leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for similar videos like this one. And as always, thank you for watching.